Act 5, Scene 1. If I can trust the favorable truth of sleep, then my dreams foretell some joyful news is on the way. Love sits lightly in my heart, and all day an odd feeling has seemed to lift me up with cheerful thoughts. I had a dream that my lady came and found me dead. What a strange dream, in which a dead man is able to think. And she breathed life back into my lips by kissing me. I revived and became an emperor. Oh, how sweet it would be to be with my love, when my dreams of love alone fill me with so much joy. Romeo's servant Balthasar enters. News from Verona. How are you, Balthasar? Have you brought me a letter from the friar? How is my wife? Is my father well? How is my Juliet? I ask that again because nothing can be bad if she is well. Romeo enters. Then she is well, and nothing is bad. Her body sleeps in the Capulet crypt, and her immortal soul lives with the angels. I saw her buried in her family's tomb, and rushed here to tell you the news. Oh, pardon me for bringing this bad news, but you told me it was my duty to do so, sir. Is it true? Then I defy you, fate. To Balthazar. You know where I'm staying. Go there and get me some ink and paper, and hire some horses. I will leave here tonight. I beg you, sir, have patience. You look pale and wild, as if you're about to do something reckless. Come, now, you're being silly. Leave me and do what I told you to do. Do you really not have a letter from me from the friar? No, my good lord. No matter. Get going, and hire those horses. I'll be with you soon. Balthasar exits. Well, Juliet, I'll lie with you tonight. Let me think how. Evil acts are quick to enter the thoughts of desperate men. I remember a pharmacist who lives around here, and who I recently noted wears tattered clothes and has jutting brows. He knows his medicinal herbs. He looks poor, as if misery had worn him to the bone. A tortoise shell hung in his shabby shop, along with a stuffed alligator and the skins of odd-shaped fish. A few empty boxes sat on his shelves, as well as green clay pots, empty water skins, and some musty seeds. Old strands of string and rose petals dressed into cakes were displayed, all scattered around. Seeing his poverty, I said to myself, if a man needed some poison, which is punishable by immediate death, to sell in Mantua, here is a miserable wretch who'd sell it to him. Oh, this idea came before I even knew I needed the poison. But this is the poor man who will sell it to me. As I remember, this is the house. Since today's a holiday, the beggar's shop is shut. Hey, pharmacist!
Who's that calling so loudly?
The apothecary enters. Come here, man. I see that you are poor. Here's 40 gold coins. Let me have a bit of poison, something that spreads so fast through the veins that the tired out person who takes it will lose the breath of life as quickly as gunpowder explodes from the inside of a cannon.
I have such deadly poisons, but those who sell poison receive the death penalty in Mantua.
How can you be so poor and wretched and still be afraid to die? Your cheeks are thin from hunger. Starvation and oppression are invisible in your eyes. Your poverty and the contempt of others for your situation is like a monkey on your back. The world is not your friend, and neither are the world's laws. The world doesn't provide a law that will make you rich, so don't be poor. Break the law and take this money. He holds out the money.
It is my poverty, not my morals, that forces me to agree.
I am paying your poverty, not your morals, then. He gives Romeo poison.
Put this in any kind of liquid you want and drink it. Even if you had the strength of 20 men, it would kill you quickly.
Romeo, giving money to the apothecary. There is your gold. Money is a worse poison to men's souls, and commits more murders in this awful world than these poor medicines that you aren't permitted to sell. I'm selling you poison. You haven't sold me any. Goodbye. Buy yourself some food. Put on some weight. The apothecary exits. Come with me, medicine. You're no poison. We'll go to Juliet's grave, where I must use you. Romeo exits. Act 5, Scene 2. Friar John enters. Holy Franciscan friar! Brother! Hey! That voice sounds like Friar John. Welcome back from Mantua. What does Romeo say? Or if he wrote down his thoughts, give me his letter. Friar Lawrence enters.
I went to find another poor friar from our order to accompany me.
He was in this city visiting the sick. I found him, but the town health officials suspected that we both had been in a house where people were infected with the plague. They sealed up the house and refused to let us out. So I was stuck, and couldn't go to Mantua. Then who took my letter to Romeo? I couldn't send it. Here it is. He gives Friar Lawrence a letter. And I couldn't even get a messenger to bring it to you because they were scared of getting infected. Terrible fate! By my brotherhood, the letter was not just a friendly greeting, it was full of important news. That it was never sent may result in great ruin. Friar John, go and get me an iron crowbar and bring it straight back to my cell. Brother, I'll go and bring it to you. Friar John exits. Now I must go alone to the tomb. Within 3 hours, beautiful Juliet will wake up. She will certainly curse me since Romeo has not received the latest news. But I will write again to him in Mantua, and keep Juliet at my cell until Romeo arrives. The poor living corpse, all closed up in a dead man's tomb. Friar Lawrence exits. Act 5, Scene 3. Paris enters with his page. Give me your torch, boy. Now go, and stand far away from me. Actually, put out the torch so no one can see me. The page puts out the torch and gives flowers to Paris. Hide under the yew trees over there, and put your ear against the ground so that you'll hear anyone walking through the graveyard. If you hear someone approach, signal me with a whistle. Give me those flowers. Do as I tell you, and go. Page, to himself. I'm almost afraid to stand here alone in the graveyard, but I'll do it. The page moves away. Paris, scattering flowers at the door of Juliet's closed tomb. Sweet flower, I'm covering your bridal bed with flowers. Oh, misery! The canopy of your bed is dust and stones. Each night I'll water these flowers. Or if I don't do that, the ritual I will keep for you each night will be to put flowers on your grave and weep. The page whistles. The boy warns that someone is approaching. What cursed person could be wandering out here tonight, interfering with my rituals of true love? Romeo and Balthazar enter, carrying a torch, a pickaxe, and a crowbar. Whoever it is carrying a torch! I'll hide in the darkness for a while. Paris hides. Give me the pickaxe and the crowbar. He takes them from Balthazar. Now, take this letter. Deliver it to my father early in the morning. He gives the letter to Balthazar. Give me the torch. He takes the torch from Balthazar. By your life, I command that no matter what you hear or see, you stay away, and do not interrupt me in my actions. I'm going to go down into this tomb in part to look upon my wife's face, but more importantly to take a precious ring from her dead finger. I must use the ring for urgent business. So go, get out of here. And if you get suspicious and return to spy on what I'm doing, I swear I'll tear you limb from limb and throw your body parts around this graveyard, which is so hungry for death. The times in my plan are wild and savage, and I am more fierce and unstoppable than a hungry tiger or the raging sea. I'll go, sir, and not interfere. That's how you will show me friendship. Take this. He gives Balthazar money. Live, and be prosperous. Farewell, good fellow. Balthazar, to himself. Despite everything I just said, I'll hide nearby. The look on his face makes me nervous, and I have doubts about his story, of what he plans to do. Balthazar moves away and falls asleep. Romeo, speaking to the door of the tomb. You hateful mouth, you womb of death, you feasted on the most precious girl on earth. So now I'm going to force open your rotten jaws and cram more food into you. Romeo begins to open the tomb with his tools. Paris, to himself. It's that arrogant Montague who was banished. He's the one who murdered my love's cousin Tybalt, which caused Juliet the grief that they think killed her. And he's come to do something terrible and shameful to the dead bodies. I'll arrest him. To Romeo. Stop your sinful work, vile Montague. Would you pursue vengeance even beyond death? Condemned villain, I arrest you, obey, and come with me, or you must die. Indeed I must die, which is why I came here. Good and noble young man, don't tempt a desperate man. Run from here and leave me alone. Think about the dead who rest here. Let them terrify you. I beg you, young man, don't make me so angry that I have to add another sin to those I have already committed. Oh, get out of here. I swear by God, I love you more than I love myself. for I've come here with weapons to use against myself. Don't stay here. Go away. Live. And afterwards say that a merciful madman told you to run away. I defy your threats. I'm arresting you as a criminal. You're really provoking me. Then let's fight, boy. Romeo and Paris fight. Oh Lord, they're fighting. I'll go call the watch. Paris, he falls. Oh, I've been killed. If you are merciful, open the tomb and lay me next to Juliet. Paris dies. The page exits. I promise I will. Let me look at this face. It's Mercutio's relative, noble Count Paris. What did my servant tell me while we were riding here? I was so upset I wasn't paying attention to him. I think he told me Paris was supposed to marry Juliet. Isn't that what he said, or was I dreaming? Or am I crazy, and hearing him say something about Juliet, I jumped to the wrong conclusion? Speaking to Paris's body. Oh, give me your hand. You and I both had equal measures of bad fortune. I'll bury you in a magnificent grave. Romeo opens the tomb to reveal Juliet inside. A grave. No. It is a cupola atop a tower, my dead young man. Juliet lies here, and her beauty fills this tomb like a festival chamber full of light. Dead man, lie down right there. Another dead man is burying you. Romeo lays Paris in the tomb. Men are often happy just before their death. Their nurses call it the lightness before death. Oh, how can I call this lightness? Oh, my love, my wife. Though death has sucked the honey from your breath, it has not yet had the power to ruin your beauty. You are not conquered. A beautiful banner of red still lingers on your lips and cheeks. The paleness of death has not yet reached them. Tybalt, are you lying there in your bloody shroud? Oh, what better favor can I do for you than to use the hand that cut short your youth to kill your murderer? Forgive me, cousin. Dear Juliet, why are you still so beautiful? Should I believe that death itself loves you? And that the hungry, hated monster keeps you here in the dark to be his lover? To make sure that doesn't happen, I'll stay with you forever, and never again leave this dark tomb. Here, I'll remain with the worms that are your chambermaids. Oh, I'll rest here forever, and escape the control of the bad fortune that has plagued my body. Eyes, see for the last time. Arms, make your last embrace. And lips, you doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss the infinite deal I have made with death. Romeo kisses Juliet and takes out the poison. Come, bitter transport. Come, unpleasant guide, you desperate pilot. Crash this seasick and weary ship into the rocks. Here's to my love. He drinks the poison. Oh, honest pharmacist, your drugs work quickly. With this kiss, I die. Romeo dies. Friar Lawrence enters carrying a lantern, crowbar, and shovel. Saint Francis, speed my steps. How often tonight have my old feet stumbled on gravestones? Who's there? I am a friend who knows you well. God bless you. Good friend, tell me why that torch is lying over there for no good reason. It's offering its light to no one but worms and eyeless skulls, and, as far as I can tell, it seems to be burning in the Capulet tomb. Holy Father, it is there along with my master, whom you love. Who is it? Romeo. How long has he been there? For a full half hour. Go with me to the tomb. I don't dare, sir. My master thinks I've gone from here. He threatened to kill me if I stayed to watch his actions. Stay, then. I'll go alone. Now I'm frightened. Oh, I'm very worried something terrible and unfortunate has happened. As I slept under this yew tree, I dreamed that my master fought someone else, and that my master killed him. Friar Lawrence, approaching the tomb. Romeo! Oh, no. What's this blood staining the stony entrance of this tomb? Why are these swords discolored by gore and blood lying here, in this place of peace? He looks inside the tomb. Romeo! Oh, he's pale. Who else? What, Paris too? And covered in blood? Ah, during what cruel hour did this sad turn of events occur? The lady moves. Juliet wakes up. Oh, comforting friar, where is my husband? I remember well where I should be, but here I am. Where is my Romeo? A noise sounds from off stage. I hear a noise. Lady, come with me from this tomb of death, sickness, and unnatural sleep. A power greater than us has ruined our plans. Come away, your husband lies dead, resting against your chest. Paris is dead too. Come, I'll bring you to join a sisterhood of holy nuns. Don't wait here, asking questions. The watch is coming. Come with me, good Juliet. I dare not stay any longer. Friar Lawrence exits. Go away. I'm not leaving. What's this? A cup, held in my true love's hand. I see poison has caused his death. How selfish. Drinking it all, not leaving a drop to help me follow after you. I'll kiss your lips. Maybe I'll be lucky, and there's still some poison on your lips. A bit of medicine that will return me to my Romeo. She kisses Romeo. Your lips are warm. Watchman and Paris's page enter. To the page. Lead on, boy, which way? What's that noise? I'll act fast. Oh, what luck, here's a dagger. I will be your sheath. Rust inside my body and let me die. She stabs herself with Romeo's dagger and dies. This is the place. There, where that torch is burning. The ground is bloody. Search the graveyard. Go, a few of you, and arrest anyone you find. Some watchmen exit. What a pitiful sight. The Count lies here dead, and Juliet is bleeding. Her body is still warm, even though she has been dead and buried for the last 2 days. Go tell Prince. Run to the Capulets. Wake up the Montagues. Have some others search. A few more watchmen exit in different directions. We see the ground on which these bodies lie, but we won't be able to figure out the true cause of all these awful events without an investigation. The second watchman enters with Balthazar. Here's Romeo's servant. We found him in the churchyard. Hold him securely until the prince arrives. The third watchman re-enters with Friar Lawrence. Here's a friar who's trembling, sighing and weeping. We took his pickaxe and his shovel from him as he was leaving the graveyard. Very suspicious. Hold the friar, too. The prince enters with his attendants. What disaster has occurred so early in the morning that it forces me from my bed? What has happened to cause everyone to start shrieking? Capulet and Lady Capulet enter. Some people in the street are crying Romeo, others cry Juliet, and still others Paris. They're all running and screaming towards our tomb. What terror has occurred to result in all this startling noise? Prince, here lies Count Paris killed, and Romeo dead, and Juliet, who was dead before, but is warm like someone newly killed. Find out how this foul murder came to happen. Here is a friar, and dead Romeo's servant. They're carrying tools for opening a tomb. Oh, heavens! Oh, wife, look at how our daughter bleeds! That dagger is in the wrong place. It should be in the empty sheath on the back of that Montague, but instead is misplaced. Sheathed in my daughter's chest. Woe is me! Seeing my daughter dead is like a warning bell of my own imminent death. Montague enters. Come, Montague. You're up early to see your son and heir killed at too young an age. My liege, my wife died tonight. Her sadness about my son's exile stopped her breath. What further misery must I endure in my old age? Look, and you'll see. Seeing Romeo's body. Oh, you rude boy. What terrible manners to die before your father. Quiet your outrage for a time, until we can clear up the remaining uncertainties about the cause of all this. Once we do know what happened, I will lead you in expressing our pain, all the way to our deaths. In the meantime, hold on, and let your patience control your desire to act. Bring forth the men under suspicion. I am the most suspected, and least able to defend myself because I was here at the time of this terrible, terrible murder. Here I stand to be questioned and punished. I have already condemned myself. Then tell us immediately what you know of all this. I will be brief, because the time I have left to live is not long enough to tell a long story. Romeo, who lies there dead, was Juliet's husband, and she, who lies there dead, was Romeo's faithful wife. I married them. Their secret wedding day was the same day Tybalt died. His untimely death led to the banishment of the bridegroom. Juliet was distraught not over Tybalt's death, but rather over Romeo's banishment. To end her grief, you arranged for her to marry Count Paris. At that point, she came to me, and, looking wild, she threatened to kill herself unless I came up with a plan to help her escape this second marriage. It was then I gave her a special sleeping potion that, as I had planned, made it seem as if she had died. Meanwhile, I wrote to Romeo to tell him to come here tonight, this awful night, to help get her out of her temporary grave when the sleeping potion wore off. But the man who carried my letter, Friar John, was stopped by an accident, and returned my letter to me last night. So at that time, when Juliet was scheduled to wake up, I came here alone, to take her out of her family's tomb. My plan was to hide her in my cell until I could get word to Romeo, but when I arrived, just a few minutes before Juliet awoke, Paris and Romeo were already here, lying dead. She woke up, and I begged her to come out of the tomb with me and bear this work of God with patience. But then a noise frightened me, and I ran from the tomb. She was too desperate to leave with me, and it seems she killed herself. I know all of this, and her nurse knows about the marriage. If any of this misfortune is my fault, let me be sacrificed and punished under the strictest law. We have always known you to be a holy man. Where is Romeo's servant? What does he say about all of this? I brought my master news of Juliet's death, and then, with great haste, he rode from Mantua to this tomb. He shows a letter. Early this morning, he told me to give this letter to his father. Then, he threatened to kill me if I did not leave when he went into the tomb. Give me the letter. I'll read it. He takes the letter from Balthazar. Where is the Count's page? Who called the watch? Boy! What was your master doing here? He came with flowers to put on the lady's grave. He asked me to stand apart from him, and so I did. Soon after, someone with a torch came to open the tomb. One thing led to another, and my master drew his sword to fight him. That's when I ran away to call the watch. The prince skims the letter. This letter corroborates the friar's story. It describes the course of their love, and how he heard of her death. Then he writes that he bought poison from a poor pharmacist, and came to this tomb to die and lie with Juliet. Where are these enemies? Capulet! Montague! Do you see how your hate has cursed you? Heaven has in response conspired to kill your joys with love. And because I did not take a firm hand against your feud, I lost 2 of my family members as well. Everyone is punished. Oh, brother Montague, give me your hand. This handshake is my daughter's dowry. I can ask you for nothing more. But I can give you more. I'll raise a golden statue of her. So long as this city is called Verona, there will be no figure praised more than that of true and beautiful Juliet. The statue of Romeo I'll make to lie beside Juliet will be just as rich. Our hate was not worth their sacrifice. This morning brings a gloomy peace with it. The sun won't shine because of his sadness. Go forward, to talk more of these sad things. Some will be pardoned. Some will be punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. They all exit.